and gentlemen, welcome to the Comment Writers. We are a Kamen Rider review podcast, and today on the show, we're going to talk about Kamen Rider Gotchard, episode 47. I'm your host, Josh Meek, the Uber Geek, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Toby Tobes. How's it going, Toby?
Fantastic, because I'm 1 week away from Gotchard retirement, and T-minus 2 weeks into Gav starting early.
We probably have to have, maybe this is an offline conversation, but let's have it at the opening of the show, because why else? That's what we would do. I believe I need to do a little bit more research, but I think next week Gotchard is off for a week, and then I think they're doing a regular episode, so that would be 48, and then I think the week after that they're doing at 49 on Sunday, and then 50 on Monday. So like 2 episodes in a row, 2 days in a row to finish out Gotchard.
So I guess this was the adult offline part of this. So we'll discuss it live. I'll assume this is where this is going. Do we just wait the extra day and do 49-50 grand finale?
I think so.
Is that what
I think that's what the people would want. Yeah. I think that's what we do. So that's good for you, because now we have one fewer Gotchard episode that we're going to record before we get to the Gav stuff, right?
That sounds intriguing.
Yeah, I thought you would like it. I thought you'd be into it. All excited about eating your gummy candies and being a vor monster.
I'm still very nervous about being a vor monster and Kamen Rider vor in general. But I guess this is the year of 24. We're here. We're gonna eat some stuff. We're gonna holes in mouths and
put it in the mouth, make it chomp 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 go. I'm open to a year of vor personally. I think I'll probably be done with vor after a year or so, but I'll explore it for a year. Why not? We'll see how it goes. No, I'm pretty excited about Gav. Like everything I've seen so far, like
in the non-joking way, I'm nervously excited for it still, because it's still that weird feeling in the pit of my stomach where, like, I'm gonna use the term fast and loose here. So we're kind of running a business, some would say. Like, this is work.
Sure.
So it's a weird, I might have said it before, it's a weird nervousness in my stomach of like, okay, my job's going to change for the next year. I have no choices if my job changes. Like, what if I dislike this? And like, I get this weird nervous energy in my stomach of like, what if after like 3 episodes, I just get so pissed and I'm like, Josh, the show's fucking dumb. What do I do?
Speaking of this being a workplace, you did threaten to call HR on me before we started recording. So this is truly a workplace.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows at home.
It's an offshoot of Tobes Corp that runs everything in my life.
Tobes Corp. I don't know if I don't know. We might need to like workshop the name Tobes Corp, because it doesn't involve me at all.
No, but I think it's an LLC for real. So we might need to put this under the umbrella just in case shit pops off someday.
We probably are getting close to where we need to put this under an LLC umbrella. Yeah, that maybe is a thing that should happen at some point. But okay, Tobes Corp. There we go. Tobes Corp.
Yeah, so if you're going to sue Josh and I for slander or libel, we're not writing a lot of things down.
No.
More verbal, really. But yeah, you just take that right to you talk to our lawyers over at Tobes Corp, and they'll get right back to you.
Yeah, send it that way. Speaking of getting sued, before we get back to the workplace thing, I watched a CoffeeZilla video because Logan Paul is suing him, and
this is more drama that you mentioned to me today. This is twice now, I think, today that you've mentioned drama or streamers or this new world I don't understand to me.
Yeah,
where the words make sense to me, so I know what you're about. Like I know what you're explaining to me in theory, but I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about still. And it makes me feel good and also old that I'm like, these fucking kids and these streamers, I'm just like, hands are clean, disconnected, no memes in my life.
I hate that I know things about this. Like, it's not, I've fallen down this well recently and I don't know what happened to me, but it's, I've been learning more and more streamer names and knowing who people are and knowing the dramas, and it's YouTube's fault, because you watch like one or two videos and then you just get surfaced more, and then like you can't not click on the thing that says Logan Paul is suing me, and you got to learn about it anyway. So, so anyway, this guy is getting sued by Logan Paul. The details aren't important, but he's basically like saying like Logan Paul's suing me, and he's trying to keep me quiet. And then he has a whole like half-hour video where he explains the lawsuit and is like very like, oh, this is ridiculous, like he doesn't have a leg to stand on. He's very confident that the lawsuit's going nowhere, and I would be the opposite of that. Like the first time someone was like, I'm suing you, no matter what it was, if they sent me a letter that said cease and desist and the rest of the letter is wingdings, I'm shutting this whole operation down, man. Like we're out of here. There's no way that I'm going to be like, no, I'm pretty sure we've got a case, because like you and me, we say some things, you know what I mean? Like I guarantee if anyone wants to sue us for something, like they've got a case.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm sure, totally. What we're so out of pocket, Toby, you and me.
But what do we say that's?
I don't know. I'm assuming that we're breaking some law somewhere, or we're defaming someone.
I'm defaming a lot of people. That is true.
Yeah.
Like that monster Kamen Rider Kuga. He's a real piece of shit.
Totally.
I'm gonna start my slander campaign against him ASAP, so we get the legal proceedings going. But the only place that we are probably doing illegal things that they could come after us for is a place called Patreon.com.
That's
and
true.
I don't think you're trying to swerve it over that way yet, but that seems like a perfect transitional conversation piece. But if you want to tell me more about your lawsuit first, go for it.
Now, if you want to get involved in the crimes, head on over to patreon.com/thecommentwriters, and you too can get access to some crime-filled bonus content every single week.
If you want to be accessories to possibly felonies,
yeah,
and like maybe do some hard time with us, you just sign right up. It's only a couple bucks a month, and for only a couple bucks a month, you could be with us for almost 20 to life, and that seems like a fantastic deal for anyone involved.
Totally. I mean, like life. Who isn't looking for life? You know
what?
Maybe not that kind of life, but
so like we have some people in our Patreon, the Nightmare Discord that we run. There's some wonderful people in there. I usually call them terrors and like other slanderous things. That's probably also another lawsuit we're working on. But like, so I just thought of this now with this crazy new world we're spinning. Let's say that you and I get sued by Kamen Rider himself.
The Kamen Rider?
The Kamen Rider, whoever it is that season gets extra mad. Like, let's say like Gav, let's say we make too many Vor jokes and Gav is like, you guys are disgusting. I want nothing to do with you. Toei's coming at us. Right?
Sure.
So they somehow find the Patreon. They find all the things we do. They're like, wow, there's a Discord. Let's break into the Discord. They talk to people. They gather evidence. They gather witnesses and clients and everything else. So like, what if the people in the Discord somehow get charged as accessories and then they end up in jail with us? Now, this is a far-fetched idea, but it's also probably possible. Mm-hmm. But along this idea, Josh, like if we're locked in a cell with some of the old timers that are in the Discord, do you think their jail time is they're going to want you and I to still do shows from in jail? Like, are they just going to sit and watch you and I make up like dumb bullshit conversations all day?
I think that's like day one, and then I think the rest of it is them just terrorizing us, like they do in the Discord now. It's just like them telling us about like making prison toilet hot dogs and stuff, and like it's just, we start out like you and I roll into that jail cell thinking that we're going to be in charge, and it's going to be like, oh, everybody's going to be looking to us and we're going to be the entertainment. And then like day two, it's like we're tied up in a corner and we're being terrorized by the rest of the cell. Just with all of the normal nonsense that happens day to day.
I could see that.
It truly will be the inmates running the asylum.
We're going double on it.
And if you also want to be a part of that, patreon.com/thecommentwriters.
So what we're specifically offering you is possible jail time for coming to hang out with us. So if that sounds like a winning proposition to you, for only a couple bucks a month, you should really sign up for patreon.com/thecommentwriters.
I think this is our best ad yet. Personally.
I was actually thinking about that as I was speaking and rambling this gibberish.
What I was going to say about this being a job, and if you hate a show, and it's like our next year, we are just doing this for fun as well. So I think if you hate it, we can always stop. Like we can always like be like, hey, let's pivot let's become a show that watches something else for a while. We can, Patreon people, if they don't like it, can always choose to not sub for a little while. But I feel like we don't need to cause emotional damage for you if it's truly terrible.
Yeah, if I start getting too much emotional damage and like the dark side rages from within me,
Mm-hmm.
and I turn into like I go from a nice Sora-esque character into like Xehanort himself,
Oh God.
we're gonna have to back out, and at that point we're gonna become a Kingdom Hearts podcast where I play Kingdom Hearts again and you sit with me for hundreds of hours and we just do that instead.
Speaking of HR, the file that's just labeled like Josh's Kingdom Hearts complaints just grows every week. It just gets bigger.
Josh slips another one in the bin.
It's like in The Office where Dwight has a special box that is just Jim complaints.
Yes, he never knew that it just got filed away in its own special category.
Yeah, and then at the end of the episode, Toby takes it down, and it's like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where it's just like one box getting slotted into a wall of like thousands of more boxes of complaints. Yeah, that's what it is with me and Kingdom Hearts with you.
Fantastic! Can't wait until you're stuck watching that.
Toby, I had a weak moment, like I'll say half a second, because that big like Kingdom Hearts collection or whatever was on sale on the Switch when I was looking at games.
Oh, no. No. It doesn't play nice. You need to get like computer,
yeah,
or PlayStation.
So I assumed that was the case. So I was never actually really gonna buy it on the Switch, but I saw that it was on sale, and I'm like, and then I was like, no, what am I thinking? Like, no. And then I thought back to that whole like race on the beach thing that I know about from you, and I'm like, I'm never gonna participate in this.
But you can just lose the race on the beach and it doesn't matter.
It matters to me.
It matters to me too until I realize the controls are shit. But if you ever buy that game, you have to get the all-in-one bundle. No, it's not. That's the dumbest thing you've ever said. Like, that's not.
That's saying something.
We're not. It is saying something. We're not going to go down that path right now. That's no fly zone.
No fly zone. Well, let's fly on over, Toby. Speaking of our patrons and our Discord, let's take a look at the episode questions channel in the Discord, shall we?
Sure.
We've got some fun things over there. So once again, patreon.com/thecommentwriters does get you some bonus content. That's more than just going to jail. You can watch Super Sentai along with us. You can watch Kamen Rider along with us if you would like to do those things. And you can also ask us questions, which some wonderful people have done for this week. The first question comes in from Kieran. Kieran says, it's time to settle an age-old debate. A classic cream tea involves scones with jam and clotted cream. Google it. The question is, do you go jam first, then cream, or cream first, then jam? First of all, what clotted cream is the grossest sounding thing. Like, it looks good. I'm looking at a picture, but it sounds disgusting, Toby. Are you surviving over that?
I've been looking at this question for like a week.
Yeah.
And it didn't, like, nothing happened the whole week. And now that, like, I have to formulate an answer, all I want to do is say, you jam it and then you cream.
You jam it and then you cream?
That's all I have. But, like...
that's the wrong answer, too. Like, it's funny, but it's the wrong answer.
I don't know.
You obviously cream first, then jam, which I don't know what that says about the euphemism there, but if you're putting your cream on top of your jam, you're a fucking monster. What is happening?
No, so like... We'll roll it back a step. The giggles are over for now. So, like, it just looks like it's a biscuit. With like,
it's a biscuit, yeah.
With like thick whipped cream, it looks like.
Yeah.
And then jelly. I'm not going to call it jam. This isn't Australia where we talk in silly terms.
Well, jellies and jams are different things, but the picture that we're looking at looks more jelly than jam.
Yeah. So, like, I feel like the denser viscosity things need to be lower than the lighter whippy ones. So I feel like by default, you would have to put the jelly down on the bread first, and then you do like the whipped cream and stuff on top because it's later.
Oh, I hate it. No, if you were listen, let's take the foreignness out of this. If you have a biscuit, right? Let's say you're at Cracker Barrel, you have a biscuit. Are you not doing butter first and then jelly? Are you jelly first, then butter?
I wouldn't put butter and jelly in the same thing. Now, what the hell is that about?
I don't know. In this scenario, we're putting both on.
But that's two similar viscosities now.
You don't think the cream and the jelly are similar?
No, like one's like whipped cream in my brain, and one's like thick ass jelly.
I guess maybe, yeah. That's fair. They both seem like they spread pretty well, from what I can see.
Like if you were making a taco and had salsa and sour cream, the salsa goes first.
Yeah, I guess I agree with that. I guess I agree with
so
that.
yes, yeah. There you go. The same thing.
Yeah. All right. You maybe won me over with the taco analogy, but I'm looking at this picture that Kieran has supplied, and the one on the right where the jelly is on top, the jam is on top, does look more enticing to me.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
I want to point out that clotted cream, for whatever reason, just makes me think of like blood clots, or like when there's like those weird delicacies. Like there's this old video where some people put blood in a goblet. It's on YouTube. It's like 25 years old. Like they put blood in a goblet, and then they put a couple drops of snake venom in the blood to show you like how fast like the coagulant shit works in whatever, like viper venom or something.
Oh.
So they drip a couple drops in, and then they turn the cup upside down, and the blood turned into like gelatin and out of the glass. But that's all I can think of, like weird blood clotty, chunky disgustingness.
Yeah. I have a similar aversion to the term cheese curd as well. I really like cheese curds, but like the word curd is very gross sounding to me. But I agree. Clotted cream is the only thing you only think of blood clot at that point.
Disgusting.
Yeah, totally. All right, I think we've solved that problem then for all of our tea drinkers out there in the world. Our next question, Toby, comes in from the navigator, in fact, of our Discord. And she asks, Josh keeps calling Boon Boomjer Super Sentai Boon Boomjer when the correct is Cranked Up Sentai Boon Boomjer. Is he afraid of being cranked up? Toby, I think our watch along of Boon Boomjer proves without a shadow of a doubt that being cranked up is not only am I not afraid of it, it's one of my favorite things.
I would completely concur with that. If you didn't reference that first, I was going to direct the navigator themselves, plus everyone else out there, that in the beginning of every intro, since the first time when they were like, let's get cranked up, Josh has been cranking it as hard as possible.
Yeah, nonstop cranking.
And sometimes he's just stupid and just doesn't call things the right words.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't really know. Maybe I do say that. I think what I'm trying to say if I say Super Sentai Boon Boomjer, I think I'm saying we are watching the Super Sentai, Boon Boomjer, because I know the full term is like Bakuage Sentai Boon Boomjer, whatever Japanese for cranked up is. But
I think we need to learn what cranked up for Japanese is. Hold on.
It's Bakuage. That's the first word in the full title.
You just said you didn't know.
Well, no, I said I know. It's Bakuage.
This is how bad Google Translate is. If I type in cranked up, two words, I guess it might be the thing. It tells me in Japanese it's Moriagata.
Moriagata?
Yeah.
That seems like fake news to me.
And then even if I do cranked hyphen up, it's Moriagata. With the crazy symbols I don't know that good.
These dumb symbols I don't know good.
I don't know which one. I don't know which side of them they are. I would also like to point out. Real quick. I'm gonna take a hit for you here too, Josh.
Okay.
And I think it's really just other Discords I've been in. I have my reading problem, as we all know, and then as people can't read with me, the Tobyitis spreads. It's an official medical term.
Sure.
You can look it up probably. I think just from me calling it like Power Rangers, or me referencing Power Rangers constantly instead of Super Sentai, I think I'm just throwing you off the whole episode. And then you're half cranked, you're trying to track some lore, you're trying to read stuff, and just throws you off a little bit.
You don't want me half cranked. You want me fully cranked, I think.
I don't want you cranked at all. I want you as far away as possible.
To be clear. Once again, HR, the file is growing.
This is like 3 strikes against you today in a span of 25 minutes, give or take.
It truly is. People watch videos about this in the workplace. Toby, our last question comes in from Charlie. Charlie says,
Wait,
Josh, what?
the show doesn't even translate to cranked up boom boom jer.
It
Why must you?
does.
No, it doesn't. The freaking Power Rangers fandom says it translates into explosion age squadron boom boom jer.
Explosion age is lame, though. You got to get cranked up.
But that's
Because
what
in the show, they talk about getting cranked up.
I'm not. Wait, Baku gauge or whatever it is. The word that's in the title. It's a freaking audio mastering service as well, and the word
Sick.
literally means explosive increase, to rise dramatically, or to shoot up.
That sounds like getting cranked up to me.
When you're a stupid dumbed down English translator, yeah, but you know
explosive increase. That's cranked up. I don't know what to tell you. It's getting cranked up. Okay.
All right. Let's Baku gauge, whatever. Let's keep it going.
Charlie says, Josh, may I call you Joshua? Joshua. On August 2nd, you reposted 2 separate Chapel Roan related tweets. Because you have crossed this line, I must ask you to name 5 Chapel Roan songs.
Is it Chapel or Chappelle?
Chapel.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Chapel. Yeah.
Okay.
And first of all, Charlie.
This is some lawyer shit. This is what I'm talking about. This is why we need the LLC. We're fucking pulling evidence out of tweets now, and
this is what these people would do to us in the prison cell. By the way, I want you to know it'd be things
yesterday
like this.
At 4:00 when we were in the yard. We were playing checkers, and you jumped twice when you weren't kinged, and I remember this. And do you remember this? Because I remember this, and I'm gonna have to take your ramen for the day because we have a deal where we wouldn't cheat each other, and now you cheated.
Oh, chess. Name the top 5 openings. That's what this
Gambit?
is. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Something Gambit? Check.
Here's the thing, Charlie. I want to know, first of all, I got lots to say about this. What's with this queer gatekeeping going on right now? That's what I want to know. Okay? Am I just am I too casual for you, my guy? Huh? Am I not hot to go enough to join the Pink Pony Club?
You know too much. You know too much.
Well, good luck, babe, cuz my kink is karma. How's that for a phenomenon? I think that was 6. I think I did 6, Toby. But still, what now, Charlie?
I want to teach our little friends a lesson here in proper assassination attempts like this one. This was a really poor attempt by Charlie to take you down.
You come for the king, you best not miss.
Yeah, not only that, but you can't get I know I recognize the spirit of the question. But if you're going to give me a 5-day lead time to answer that question, I'm going to look it up. What the fuck are we doing here?
That I had to look these up? Because no, I knew these. Listen, this household, Toby, has been blasting Chapel Roan for weeks. It's been the hotness around here lately. Let me tell you.
Josh might be lying, but either way, if it was the other way, and he would have said the same thing to me, your little speech you just gave, I 100% would have looked up to every song title and put them all into a paragraph and then busted it out because there was too much prep time. You spiked the drink and then said, "Hey guys, I spiked the drink. If you drink, you're gonna get sick though." And then we're not gonna drink the drink.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I did have a lot of lead time going into it. I will say though, because you and I have run into this issue now, where things get posted into the episode questions channel, and we don't realize it's in the episode questions channel, and we just pop in to answer it.
Yeah.
I didn't do that with this Chapel Roan question, so at least I realized it was an episode question, and then pushed it away until the time it came to read it. At least
adjusted accordingly.
Yeah. The other thing, Charlie, it's important to note about these tweets. We're gonna go to the timeline, Toby. We're not really, but the tweets I want to talk about, because I retweeted these tweets because Chapel Roan did a performance at a concert, and she came out dressed like a luchador. She had a full-on luchadora mask on. Her backup dancers were dressed in crazy workout gear. There was a ring behind her, an actual wrestling ring set up behind her. So she like full on came out like a wrestler, which was awesome. So that obviously overlaps with one of my main interests, which is wrestling. So I
Yeah, I was gonna say
retweeted
like
the video.
that's definitely like the one place to not come at you at would definitely be
Exactly.
the wrestling horse shit.
And then so I retweeted that, and then someone made so there's an AEW meme that goes around. First it was Eddie Kingston because they did like a promo for the next episode of AEW Dynamite, and all it said was Eddie Kingston addresses his enemies, which is one of the funniest like previews for a TV show ever. So people have made a whole bunch of them, and someone made Corazon de Chapelron addresses her enemies. They made that image, so I retweeted that as well. So what I want to say now, Toby, is Charlie, I want you to name 5 luchadors. You're over there reading my tweets about luchador and about wrestling. So let's hear it. Who are your top 5? We got Blue Demon Jr. Who's your favorite? Who you got? Who you got over there? That's what I want to hear.
And Josh,
I'm fired up, Toby. What's up?
you're Baku Gauge.
Yeah, I'm cranked up. Excuse me.
No, it's the wrong word. Speaking of cranked up luchadors, let's talk about Gotchard episode 47.
Yeah, let's do that. Before we do that, we do have to read some emails too. Sorry to get you excited. Let's crank down for a moment. Transition over to our emails because we have an email address, Toby, and that is cast@commonwritersucks.com. Once again, that is cast@commonwritersucks.com. We have a new emailer this week. Jordan is writing in. Jordan says, "Hey guys, so this is my first time sending an email. Just wanted to give you some fun tidbits for your O's reaction on Patreon." So yeah, if you don't know, we are currently watching Kamen Rider O's on Patreon. We're still in the early stages. I think we're like on episode 8 or 9,
7, 8,
somewhere around there.
yeah.
7, 8, yeah. So Jordan says it's about Ankh/Shingo's actor.
I'm just happy that the tips and hints weren't like Toby edit them better or something like that. So
no.
Jordan's cool by me so far, at least.
It's not about the editing, but it is about kind of how dumb we are. So
I mean, that's literally what you're paying for. Like, yes. Hard stop. Like, you're paying for stupidity in your ears.
So Ankh and Shingo, Jordan says, are both played by Ryosuke Miura, which we didn't know they were the same actor for a very long time. The main one I want to tell you about is his hair. When he's playing Shingo, he's wearing a wig, and when he's Ankh, that's his real hair. So the crazy Ankh hair is the real hair, and the Shingo is the wig hair. Crazy, right? I also found on his fandom page that he played the Tiger Orphnak in Kamen Rider Decade, so that's cool. And Miura has stated that he and co-star Shu Watanabe, who plays Eiji, initially did not get along when they first began filming O's, though they have reconciled and continue to be good friends since then. So that's fun.
That's glad actually like made up. That would be that'd be way more fun to me.
If they didn't.
Yeah, like kind of tied to when we get to like the arguing in Gotchard. Like if Spanner and Hodro's actors actually hated each other as well, like the whole season, that would actually be amazing for like you're my friend but not really vibes.
I feel like that's like unironically wrestling a lot of the times. Like people throughout wrestling's history have hated each other but had to work together a lot because wrestling always likes to blend real life and wrestling fiction in such a way that they make people who don't like each other wrestle a bunch.
And so, smart wrestlers are good enough where if they realize they're going to make a shitload of money off the hatred, you just suck it up and deal with it.
You got to do business. That's right. Miura has also stated, Jordan tells us, that he and co-star Shu Watanabe, I already read that line, sorry, Miura playing Ankh is the bird greed, but Miura ironically suffers from acrophobia, the fear of heights, to the point where he reportedly shed tears during filming. Oh, man. Miura's older brother is Kota Miura, who portrayed Takeshi Kurosaki in the second season of Kamen Rider Amazons. Thanks for listening. Bye. So, yeah, lots of connections to other Rider shows and such with that actor, which is very cool. But yeah, fear of heights and then having to like do things that involve like a fair bit of heights is a pretty big bummer. Do you think he didn't say that when he was getting cast? Like, all right, so you're gonna be the bird guy. You think he was just like, oh shit, no, it's fine. Like, I'll be okay.
I feel like any good actor, or even like when you go for a job, there's a certain line that you lie to, and you just tell yourself, like today, like if this becomes an issue in a week, I have a week to figure out how to deal with this issue.
Yeah,
Like, oh, I know how to fix servers, and like even if you never fixed a server before in your life,
I know how to
like
Google.
you
I'm
just start
good.
googling, or when something breaks, obviously you get a little crazier with your trying to figure shit out. But I figure like, hey, you're the bird guy, and you're like, oh, well, I do wires and strings, no big deal. Like, hey, they'll fling me around one time, I can suck it up, and then it just they got in too deep. You just get in
Got
too
in too
deep.
deep. Yep, too deep, but can't go back. Jordan writes in with a second email as well, Toby, with
Ooh,
more O's information. Jordan says, this now is officially my second time sending an email. Hi again. Another fact for your O's reactions: when O's uses his full combos, which you have the full set of colored core metals, the names are derived from the Japanese words for the animals. So I think this is something we talked about maybe in the Discord. So this is fun facts about O's. But Jordan says, for example, his base form Tatoba is derived from Taka, which is hawk, Tora, which is tiger, and Bata, which is grasshopper. And then Gatakiri Ba comes from Kuwagata, which is a stag beetle, Kamakiri, which is a mantis, and again, Bata, which is the grasshopper. Also notice that the core metals are separated by color and animal types. Uva, the green greed, is insects. Kazari, the yellow greed, is wild cats. Mazul, the blue greed, is aquatic animals. And Gamel, the gray greed, is large land animals.
this is like how they did this is like how they did the chemis by categories,
Yeah, totally.
and then they made up one that was like vehicles, mythical objects,
I really like
things
that
that start with the letter P.
I like the divisions here. Like there's obviously bird we talked about a second ago, insect, and then we get just wild cats have their own category. Like all of large land animals, but then wild cats. Anything in the water is one category, wild cats. It's pretty great. And then finally, we did get an email from Shade as well. I just want to point out a couple things in it because we will get to the rest of some of the stuff that's mentioned here in our discussion of the episode. But first up, Shade points out that Gotchard has officially wrapped filming. So now all the episodes are done, and we're just waiting for them to come out at this point, which is very fun. Shade also lets us know that the movie Future Daybreak, Kamen Rider Gotchard Future Daybreak, is ranked third in moviegoer satisfaction by Film Marks, which is like Japanese letterbox basically. So it is just below Wolverine and Deadpool and some other anime movie, and then it's Future Daybreak. So apparently it is being rated higher by film goers than most Kamen Rider movies, which is fun. So apparently it's very good. And I think those are the most things before we touch on before we get into the discussion. So we'll hop over to that now. Now we'll get cranked up again, Toby, and get excited to talk about Gotchard episode
Bakuage.
47. Yeah. So I want to start off right off the top. I think this was maybe my favorite episode of Gotchard so far.
There was so many like sick highs that at least in the gap, like at least in like the past 2 month gap, I think this is like one of the ultimate episodes of, oh shit, it feels like this is going somewhere as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's ending. Like you
Absolutely.
can just feel like this is the, because even like X-Aid from like 46 and 47 till 50, like those last 4 episodes feel like mini movie setup. Like, okay, I can feel that we're in the final trench here. And this whole episode was like, we laid the groundwork for what is fundamentally the finale. And like, we're here now. We're dug in. Everyone has their lines. And like going into the next week, we're gonna start fucking fighting for them. Like, we're ready to go now.
Totally. Yeah. It always feels like, a little bit like these weekly shows. And it's not just Kamen Rider, but it's like Sentai is this way too. And kind of any show that is like a weekly show, kind of procedural type, I guess. It's like, you're playing with the same toys week to week, but like for the most part, you can't really can't really tear him up too much because you got to use him again next week, right? Like you can't make big, massive changes to a character for the most part because we got to kind of keep it going week to week. But now we're to the point where we can really start tearing these toys up. You know what I mean? Like we can set them up, we can smash them together real hard. We can make big, massive changes.
We can
And we
punch a
get,
hole in a helmet, all the good
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. So yeah, we this episode, I think the big focal point is Spanner. We saw last week Spanner kind of took over the alchemy union, essentially the academy, and he wants to destroy all chemies is kind of his current plan. So our episode opens, Toby, where Spanner is riding his bike. He's so cool on that bike. He's such a cool dude riding his freaking motorcycle. He encounters Lachesis, and she's got some questions. She's like, all right.
She's pissed her brother's a dick.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And she's kind of saying like, all right, so you want to kill these chemies, but the chemies are how Kamen Riders get power. And you're not going to be able to beat the Abyssalisk Kings if you don't have any power. So, like, what's going on?
and his response, a punch in the stomach and a whisper in the air.
That was so crazy, so out of pocket. He tells her what his plan is. We don't hear it, obviously, but then yes, he's like, "Hey, take care of my mom," and then he punches her in the stomach for no reason.
It's literally like so anime. Like they're both smaller people. Like it's not like some big muscle man, but like when they do like the anime things where like the big muscly guy punches the hero in the stomach,
yeah,
and their body like wraps around the fist and then collapses. Like that's what Lachesis did. Like she got punched in the stomach where it looked like Assassin's Creed stabbed her in the gut.
Yep,
and she just like hard fell over and like collapsed.
100%. Yeah, I feel like I've seen that scene so many times. Of yes, like side by side, like shoulder to shoulder, and then punch in the gut. That's what happens here. Just so crazy to have him do that to her. Like
of all people.
Of all people, because like an episode or two ago, we were like, I don't know, maybe you guys want to date.
well, they never wanted to.
No,
Spanner's mom tried to push it, and then this is what happens. His way of saying no was punching the girl he likes in the stomach.
This is why you don't become human, because then the boy you likes punches you in the stomach.
Yeah.
And then in maybe I was gonna say one of my favorite scenes. But there's a lot of good scenes in this episode. In a funny scene, all the alchemy kids are up on a rooftop. We've brought everybody. We have Minato there. We have Kyoka there. We're all kind of waiting. Suddenly Spanner shows up and he's got his alchemy henchmen, and they just like, without any fighting whatsoever, trap all the heroes and take their chemi cards just instantly.
It looks so cool. Like, for like even like minus the standpoint of, oh, watch, like all the cards just disappear and do like this cool little like float in the air again, circle up, blow away thing. I don't think on the show itself we ever saw someone hold like the deck of cards.
No,
but it was kind of cool to actually see like someone holding like all 101 cards in their hand as like a big freaking like magic deck of like, hey, look all these things we actually collected.
That's exactly what it reminded me of, was Magic. Because in Magic, there's a format called Commander where you play 100 card decks, and he was holding 101 chemis, and it was exactly as thick as a Commander deck. I was like, oh yeah, he's ready. He's got his full deck. He's ready to go. That was cool. I loved that it took him and 4 random no-name henchmen to take out all of our heroes and steal all their cards. Like that was pretty sick. But yeah, I love that happened right off the bat at the beginning of the episode. He starts to leave, and Lachesis shows up and kind of spills the beans on what his plan is. And his plan, Toby, is basically to kill himself. He wants to transmute all of the chemis onto himself, kind of using his black flame power. This will eventually kill him, overpower him. He won't be able to handle it, but he should have enough power to, in his eyes, take out the Abyssalisk Kings first before he dies. So the ultimate plan is Abyssalisk Kings are dead, chemis are dead, he's dead, world peace.
Like, and it's the craziest, best like anti-hero move ever.
Yeah,
because like his summary or their summary was, well, if he takes all of the chemis but murders himself and everybody else, like it's insta world peace because there's no evil and there's also no good. It's like everyone just gets to live in harmony because there's no more reason to worry about needing common riders.
Yeah.
And like the wording of it was just like so solid of, yeah, I mean, in theory, like this is a plan. Like if I die, but I take all the bad stuff with me when I die, like the problem is solved. It's just not like the actual like heroes thing usually.
Yeah, it's not like the hero's journey that Hodoro's on, but like it is a it's a selfless plan, like and it solves the problem. I really like his plan, and I like that he came up with it specifically. I can talk more about that later when we get to kind of their big showdown, but um, I really really like that it wasn't, and Shade talked about this in the email as well, that it wasn't just Spanner's evil now suddenly. It was Spanner sees differently how to solve this problem, but he still has a very like heroic approach to solving it. Like
Yeah,
he's
because
gonna
even
yeah, he's gonna break some eggs to get there, but like he doesn't think Hodoro can get the job done, and he thinks it's his job to step up and do it. I think that's cool.
yeah, because even in like when they're the one, I think it's their big conversation later, but at least a Hodoro Spanner conversation, they basically both say like we have the literal same exact plan.
Yeah.
We both just we are looking at each other and confirming to each other like our two methods do not line up. Like I need to turn left here and you need to turn right. And like all the chemis can only come with one of us. So like there is only one path forward here. And it's just we have to figure out which path is the path.
Yeah, that's so sick. That's so cool. Yeah. I also liked in this particular scene. So we normally see Hodoro using smartphone to call people. Smartphone's gone now because it got stolen, so he has to use his regular person phone to call to get a call from his mom. I thought that was funny.
Now it's just a sumo.
Yeah. Um,
That's Japanese, everybody. I'm learning some words.
we find out that people are hunting Kudo and Hodoro now that all the memories and stuff are back. And basically, they went and ransacked the restaurant, Kitchen Ichinose, and tore it all up. The two regulars are there helping clean up, which I thought was very cute. And the mom, obviously knows what's going on, knows what Hodoro is at this point, knows what he's all about, why these people were hunting him. But she kind of plays it off and kind of tells him like, "Hey, you found your gotcha, so keep going." Like, same with me. I'm going to deliver these orders despite the fact that this restaurant just got destroyed. So you keep going too, and that was cool. I like the little moment with the mom there.
Like she gives like the purest, best like "you're my son, I don't care" speech ever. Like it's like without a doubt, it's something my mom would tell me for something stupid I did.
Totally.
Of like, yeah, I know what you're doing, but like, yeah, I still love you. Like, it seemed like you were having fun doing this. Is what you wanted to do. Like, no, I don't care. Like, we can, like, when the world calms down, we'll talk about like, hey, it was stupid for you to go to your apartment and chug a gallon of milk, but mom didn't care. She just said like, we'll talk about it later. Like, don't be stupid.
Totally. Yeah. I also really love the scene. So Kajiki shows up, and it's cool that he's there. I like that he's in the gang kind of now. And then Mr. Asahi shows up. And if you don't remember, Mr. Asahi is the wrestling trainer all the way back from episode 5, the Wrestler G episode.
That's why I tried to swerve it into wrestling earlier and we got sidetracked with stupid whipped cream questions.
We had things to talk about. I adore that they are bringing these people back from like really early episodes. Like they've done this now for a few episodes, and I think it's so cool. And I especially love that like part of people getting their memories back, part of it is like, hey, we're hunting the good guys now, and like there's danger in the world and stuff. People are scared. But also like the part of it is like, oh, I can finally remember like how Hodoro helped me and how cool Chemis are, and I'm worried about him, so I'm gonna go check on him. And I love that Hodoro sits down to tell Kajiki and Mr. Asahi about all of his Spanner problems. And they all want to just offer some advice. I think that's cool.
I like with all of that, like the throwbacks are neat because like we've been doing those a bunch the past couple of episodes. I feel like we can probably do it once or twice more with some other like throwaway-ish but still important people. But like it leads up into like the actual like main piece of this episode. But it's kind of funny that like the wrestling guy, his speech is basically like, well, you both want something, but sometimes you just want something so bad. There's only one way you can teach them what you want. There's only one way you can beat some sense into them, let you know which way is right. And it's just kind of funny to me that like his solution is, listen, you just got to get in the ring 1-on-1. Throw a drop kick or two. Just get in there and punch him in the face and tell him you're right.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to punch your friend. You just got to fight it out. After this, the transmuting begins. We're out in the big field.
No, we're in the quarry. I'm so pissed you didn't realize.
You're right.
Don't call it the field.
You're right.
They're in the goddamn quarry. It made its appearance finally.
We got to the quarry. We've been to this quarry before in Gotchard because this is where they were doing the alchemy test flashbacks early on, if you remember. We had that character show up. This is like maybe episode like 2 or 3 or something, where they were obsessed with Spanner and he didn't remember who they were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that happened in the quarry too. So this is where they go when they want to do some real dark alchemy stuff. Anytime they think big explosions are going to happen and they're alchemying. Spanner has set up this like weird triangle situation thing. He's ready to start transmuting these cards. First, he pulls out his cards, like his chemi cards, and he apologizes to them before he tries to transmute them, which I found to be a very interesting concept. He's ready to destroy these chemis, except for, his buddies. Before he can go, full, I guess, Super Saiyan with all this transmutation, though, Hodoro and gang show up. They very quickly dispatch the henchmen, the Academy henchmen. Those guys are hilarious. They're just like no name alchemy people, just like get dropped with like one little karate chop to the neck. It was very good. And then we have our big showdown, Toby. This was great, I think, from the beginning. So first, Hodoro sucker punches Spanner. Spanner kind of returns the punch, and Hodoro is furious, basically coming in here. And this is like a super emotional scene where, like you said before, they're kind of both presenting their positions and kind of realizing that like they have the same goal of beating the Abyssalisk Kings, but are gonna go about it completely differently. And both of them need the chemis for it.
It's crazy, like, of all the things that have happened in the show and the things that I feel like they've followed up on or not followed up on throughout 47 episodes now, like the two of them actually punching each other, like not henshins, just the humans, Spanner and Hodoro, them actually punching each other in the face and then getting into an actual fist fight while like actually screaming at each other of like, fuck you, I'm right, no, your way is stupid, I'm right, is like the most earned thing that I think has happened the entire show.
Yeah, agreed. It's been an entire series of this brewing, basically. The producer's blog kind of talks about, and Shade pointed this out in the email, kind of talks about the fact that like Spanner was originally designed to kind of be the rival who is ahead of you, who's ahead of the main character in skill and in progress, but then the main character kind of catches up to and surpasses. So like think like Gary Oak in Pokemon, where he's just he's annoying and he knows more than you, and that's frustrating. But then along the way, Spanner kind of became more than that too. And he became like big brother to the other kids. And I think that's really where Spanner fits more than being the rival that's ahead. Because he definitely was that at the beginning. But I think he's now fits more in this role of big brother. And being the big brother, I think, leads to this decision that he's making now. Because again, he's looking at this like, these are my friends. This is my world. And I have to be the one that steps up and handles this because, hey, I'm the one that can shoulder this responsibility. I'm the big brother type, right? And the other thing I love about it is his parents sacrificed themselves to save him, right? That's like the defining moment in his life was his parents giving up their lives so he could live. So for him, like that's what you do when you're a hero. Like that's how you save people. Is you sacrifice yourself, like you go all the way for it. It's just kind of the way he knows to save the day. And I think they do such a great job of setting those things up in this scene and in what he says here. He also in maybe one of the greatest like Spanner acting moments too. He like very frustratedly screams, "This is exactly what I've always hated about you."
That's what I'm saying. Like all the lines they both got to have, like, because even the alchemy kids and Minato were like, "Holy shit!" Like Hoodro's actually pissed off right now,
Yeah,
and they were all like mind blown that like he could actually have that snapping point of he's actually really fucking mad. But like all the parts post them saying that, when both kids were like screaming at each other of like, "This is why you're wrong and I'm right." Like they're both wrong and right. But like that moment purely was the one I feel like is the most earned thing ever, because
yeah,
Spanner saying like, "Why the hell are you always like this?" is literally like 47 episodes of buildup. Like Spanner's thing with Hodro the whole time is like more so in the beginning when he was the annoying little brother ish type character, more so than now, was like, "But why do you act like this? Like you act goofy. I take this seriously. This is like what I grew up to do. I'm up top here, and you're just like kind of play alchemying." Like all of it was just perfect. It was all just like everything that built up the entire year.
yeah,
All just pays off right now.
yeah. Because Spanner has a hard time recognizing that Hodoro is taking this just as seriously as he is. He's just has a different approach to it. I think at one point, like Hodoro talks about like, yeah, I'm not doing this if it'll cost me my friend. Like if if you have to die for this, it's not worth it. Which is just like so antithetical to how Spanner sees the thing, which is which is great too. And yeah, they're like complete diametrically opposed here, despite the fact that like they both clearly respect each other and they both clearly like want the same goal, but like yeah, can't get it done. And then I really love what leads us into fighting, because they both say, I think Spanner says like, well, clearly talking's not going to get us anywhere, is it? And Hodor's like, no, it's not. And then they both henshin, and that's so cool. That was so awesome.
I was just excited that Spanner had a shitty little dog like I did growing up. Like he almost looks like my dog. I was very excited.
He did. That's true. That's true. This fight was awesome. It was huge. It was bombastic. It was one of those like, we're gonna pull out the stops and do a big crazy fight.
Hodoro
And
punched the fucking hole in Spanner's face. Like,
yep, that was the coolest. So yeah, in the midst of it, big punch from Hodoro. The helmet breaks. We get the one eye cut out, which is pretty rare to see that kind of helmet damage, and awesome, so awesome.
not
It
since
looked
Spider-Man 1 when Peter got beat up by Green Goblin and his eye came out of his little mask because it's been so dramatic.
totally. They do a double rider kick. Both of them kind of fall to the ground. They both can kind of stand up after that, but Spanner kind of burns out. Like he kind of fizzles. All his like black flames sort of engulf him. He dehensions, and his driver is just fried at this point, like completely destroyed. And Hodoro says like, "Okay, I won." Like, and then he says, "All right, come on, let's head back." Like basically like, "All right, like I showed you that I'm the one in charge here. Like let's put this behind us. Let's go." And Spanner's like, "No, we're on different paths. These roads can never converge." And he just walks away. And it's super dramatic. There's no music.
Yeah, like that's one of the things I wrote down. There's 2 or 3 shots, I think, during that fight specifically. Like this whole episode had way more, like lots of obvious drone footage, more so than usual, I feel like.
Yeah.
And there was 2 or 3 shots, especially like the Spanner walking away with some other ones, where it's literally just a drone super far away kind of following them, but it's just dead quiet. And it makes it like so much more like theatrical, dramatic, high stakesy, when it's not like it's not like they play the happy song or like the soft piano version of Back On, where it's like, I learned something today and Chemis are our friends. It's just dead quiet, and the secondary hero is just like, I'm walking away now, and that's just all it is, and you just get to soak it in because it's like quiet as shit.
Yeah. I'm so happy they didn't play the song, because like that's the default for them, right? Like, oh, it's the big dramatic song, or it's the sad version of the song now because something sad's happening. And yeah, the choice to make it quiet, I think, was key here. It was very important, because it really hammers home then like Hodoro thought that this fight would happen and then it'd be over and we could put this behind us. And it's like, no, like this is it. This is different. Like I'm walking away from you right now. But yeah, very cool. Definitely good fight, and the helmet breaking was just absolutely wild. Kyoka is sad, of course. Lachesis is sad, of course. And then we get you and I have joked about it so many times about how are you going to let your Kemi cards get taken away this often, man? What are you doing here? They in the 47th episode came up with a way to prevent that. Sabi has created a security card that sits on top of your stack of other cards.
It basically
And
looks like 102nd Kemi. It's literally
yeah,
just a little piece of paper that just says security that they slide on top of the other cards, and we're supposed to assume this somehow this magic cards and other cards come out. But whatever.
yeah. The explanation they give is basically if someone tries to steal your cards, they'll get shocked. Like if they touch it or grab it or pull on it, they'll get shocked, which is amazing. I love that they like bothered to say this. I guess they felt like they needed to explain why the "I took all your chemies" isn't going to happen again in the next few episodes. But boy, that's funny.
Of all ways to do it, I like whatever. Like the rest of the episode is good enough where it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
but like completely unnecessary.
Totally, yeah, totally. It made me laugh pretty hard though, so I was pretty into it. Then we get our kind of cliffhanger for the next episode. So earlier in the episode, Clotho grabbed Atropos, who was kind of trying to watch the fight, the Spanner Hodoro fight. And Clotho said, "Oh, you're not supposed to be here. Galia wants you to be safe." Well, it turns out Galia was tricking everyone, which was tricking Atropos and Clotho, because Atropos is now tied up, and Galia knocks Clotho back, kind of knocks her out of the way, and tells Atropos that, hey, you haven't fully come into your power yet, and talks about her human model, who she's based off of. And turns out that person is Kudo. So if you remember last episode, Galia put the little mark on Kudo's hand. Well, now Atropos has one as well, and that's going to drain the strength from Kudo and put it into Atropos. So they're going to have the transference of power.
I was so hung up on figuring out who Lachesis was supposed to be that I never even reflected upon. I know we made jokes about like who's who, and they can set some things up this way and other nonsense like that. For all the times that the two of them have been linked together this entire show, this is all your fault. This is all your fault. Hey, please help me get my dad back. This is all your fault. Like, never once did I remotely think that they would actually be like real life tied together and not just like mirrors of each other.
Yeah, same. And I feel stupid for not having seen it too, because it's so obvious thinking back now. Like, they were constantly, talking to each other. They always had that weird connection. And then last episode, where frickin' Atropos does the dad scene, like recreates the Kudo dad scene. The fact that you and I didn't realize that was the case.
Yeah, we just made dumb jokes about it. And like obviously we make that's what we're here for, to make the dumb jokes about things. But like, they basically slapped us in the face with it last week. And we're just like, oh, this is weird. This is creepy, whatever. And like, just completely skipped it.
Yeah.
And again, like, it was a couple weeks ago now, I said, like, they keep laying all the secret pieces for setting up the ending of like, hey, we can wrap up stories because we made like this little throwaway about the secondary alchemy team and everything else. And like, I mean, this was an easy 2-part arc one, like they always do. Last week they made the little one look like Kudo, and this week they're like, oh, by the way, you are Kudo. Cool.
Yeah, totally. Which, I mean, like, I guess in their defense, they've been hinting at that from like the beginning, kind of. Oh, yeah, like every time she shows up. But
yeah, so even with that, like, just like the Hodoro and Spanner thing of like, it's 47 episodes in. Holy shit, here's your major payoff of it. Like they did it. They just did it again. There's 2 major ones this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. This one, it's very funny that you and I like often pride ourselves on like the accuracy of our predictions on these shows, and just to completely miss that one is very funny. But yeah, like in a show that like sometimes doesn't foreshadow things well enough in advance, we'll say. These are 2 things that they laid the groundwork for long ago, and have like paid them off really, really well in this episode. So that's exciting.
The only one I think I'm not gonna ever see
is the dad.
Yeah. Who's
We're
Hodor's dad?
never gonna see that, guaranteed. Now, we had the like this episode and the scene where his mom is cool in this episode would have been the point to reveal the dad. I think. So I think that we didn't get it this episode. I'm locking in my guess that we're never gonna find out who the dad is. Never gonna get brought up again.
Yeah, like, and like reflecting back upon the whole thing, it doesn't really matter.
No.
Like in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. I don't care in the sense that like I'm not going to be upset that I don't know who his dad is. Like it's some main story beat to me that like I don't understand the Gotchard story without. I'm going to be irritated that they made a big deal about it a couple times in the beginning, and we're just not going to address it ever again. Like at least like when Kudo got her dad back, we made jokes about they had good heart to hearts off screen and now they're okay and I guess we'll have to let that one go. But like there's no fixing this because the other alternative is episode 48 rolls around and like, Hodoro, here's your dad. We haven't mentioned him once, but here he is. You've never missed him. You never mentioned missing him. You never even really said like, I wish he was a part of my life. Like they can't make that work to me now the way they made the other things work. Like there's not enough time to set up a payoff that I would have any like emotional baggage tied to it for me, kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. The hiding the dad's face to us thing only works as a payoff if it's a character that we know, right? Like if you just introduce some random dude, it doesn't mean anything, like you're saying at this point. But if it's a character that we know, it would have to be a character that hasn't like made themselves known yet to Hodoro, and because he knows what his dad looks like, and there isn't a character like that in the show.
Yeah, like because like at best, if he didn't know who the Abyssal Sisters dad figure guy was, if he never knew who he was, they could still swing, hey, he's actually Hodoro's dad. But he would be the only person of the right age that we have seen in the show that would make a difference. It'd be him or Minato.
Yeah, him or Minato.
He's with Minato all the time. And again, like for whatever reason, 40 episodes in, it never clicked to me that like Hodoro always saw the picture. They just hit it from the camera. But like, why make that part of his personality then? And like, again, like there's no fix for this. There's nothing they can do right now that would make me care.
Agreed. But I think minor beef. This episode was still very, very good.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like this would probably be the one that would stick out the most to me when the season ends. If we ever like, hey, remember Gotchard kind of thing? Like this, the slime temple with Renge's grandma, and like the OG haunted house one. When we're like, wow, Kudo's cool because she's making fun of two guys for being babies. Like 47 episodes in, off the top of my head, those are the first three that would pop out.
Yeah, the only one I'd add to that is the original Wrestler G episode, because that was the first time where it's like, oh, I could get the heart of the show, and then also like I get the wildness of this show too.
Yeah.
like those two things really jumped out at me there. But yeah, I agree. I think that
no. And when Hopper whites out and dies, that's still funny. That's still the funniest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
That's number one. Everything else falls behind that.
Well, they can't all be childhood toys dying in white. All right. Well, that's going to wrap us up for this banger of an episode here. Toby, why don't you tell the people where they can find you on the internet?
On Twitter, it's Life of Tobes, and on YouTube, it's Tobes Plays.
For me, Twitter is Pretty Dece Josh. YouTube is Pretty Dece. Meek.lol on Blue Sky. That's probably the places. Social media is weird these days, Toby, as you know. And you can also catch us in Discord by joining the Patreon, patreon.com/the Comment Writers. That's really the main place where we are most of the time is Discord. So check that out. $3 a month, you get all of our bonus content as well. And, maybe prison. Who knows? We'll see. So check that out, patreon.com/the Comment Writers. Send us in emails, cast@commentwritersucks.com if you want to do that as well. We'd love to hear from you. like our new letter writer Jordan this week did. So thanks very much for those. And that is going to wrap us up for this week. We'll be back next time for Gotchard episode 48 as we are in the home stretch here. We hope you join us back for that. But until then, have a great week, everybody. Peace.